join the show. Welcome to NBNR Live. And here we go.
It's no block, no rock. Go Big Red indeed. No block, no rock. Season 5, episode whatever, post Ohio State. What episode is it, by the way?
I think it's 11.
Okay.
Not 100% sure, but I think it's 11.
We really need to get there's like a little clicker that sits on Jared's table over there.
I just like saying post whoever we beat or lose to. Seeing as our main sponsor is Nebraska Brewing Company, Cardinal Pale Ale, the flagship beer, you would call it. I had it last week. You know, I open up that fridge and I go, you know, Nebraska arguably played their best game of the season, arguably, after I drank one of these. So I'm doing it again. Mike, what do you got?
I thought I'd change it up. Connor came in with a fresh batch of beer, and there was some Ale Storm in there. And this is the Triple Play limited edition can. So I thought, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Indeed.
Those 6-packs are actually really cool.
They are.
It's the triple play because it's 3 different labels.
Yes.
They're all different jerseys. The number on the front of them is actually the year that the jersey got released. It's not just like a random number we put on there.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, it's a great beer. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's no EOS, but it's really good.
Regardless of label, it tastes good.
beer.
It's a world-class label. So.
Sneaking it in there already.
Look at there. Connor.
It's another week, another Pilsner for me. Yeah.
That's fine. It's okay. Listen, you got your own thing, and that's okay.
Thank you, Jared.
You should never apologize for your thing.
To be fair, I didn't apologize.
Right. But everybody gives you shit, and I'm just like, let him do whatever makes him happy. No matter how weird it is, let him do it.
I'm a weird guy.
KB, what you got?
Back to my thing, the EOS Hefeweizen. I was going to stick to water. I'm freaking exhausted.
This guy is sluggish today.
I got no water. So I guess I'll have to resort to drinking some of the best beer in the state of Nebraska.
Oh, you poor thing.
Hey, there's a lot of water in that beer.
There is.
Yeah.
First world problems on this podcast is you have to drink the best beer in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Nebraska Brewing Company. World class.
In every glass.
You guys, Nebraska was this close to getting Ryan Day fired.
Hey,
this close.
And you almost predicted it. Kyle, roll the tape. Let's
Okay.
go back in time.
Yep. One moment. Here we go.
No.
You know what's gonna really suck, you guys? What's gonna really suck is Nebraska's gonna go out there and play their best game of the year. The most complete 4-quarter game. And they're gonna waste that effort because they're still lose by 3 fucking touchdowns.
While that's not entirely true.
It was pretty darn close.
It was close.
Yeah. I mean,
They played
their
best
arguably
darn
the
game.
best game of the year.
And instead of 3 fucking touchdowns, it was nearly 3 fucking points.
Yep.
This close. I want to just go around and look, we've had a few days to marinate on this.
We got our counseling in yesterday.
We did.
We talked through the problems and the pain.
I released the demons.
Yeah. I have exorcised the demons.
Or have we?
Or have we? Connor has not talked about the game
That's
yet,
right.
so
I was going to throw it
he
over to
might
Connor.
have some demons.
Let's go. What do you got, man?
No, I mean, we talked about this, just post game, and I annoyed you guys for like an hour. I mean, it's obvious that the demon is still there, that, you get those close games, you have those opportunities, and it's not done. I do think that it is, I know you hate this, that it is a slight positive that you got that close against a top 4 team, a team that people are talking about being a natty contender. But it's still one of those things that we can't get it off our back, that we've got opportunities and we're just not getting that done.
Yeah, those close losses, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'm not sure if you tuned in, Connor, but the close losses, they suck. And we established that we like being sad more than we like being mad, like we were the week prior. But UCLA is going to tell us a lot. I think that's kind of where we left off with this game yesterday when we talked about it was, okay, we can live with the close loss, great performance, great effort thing under this regime. But it has to be a building block. It has to be a launch pad.
Yeah.
You can't do what we've seen in the past, the evidence that we have that traumatizes us as a fan base. You have to capitalize on it. You have to use it as a launch pad.
I think you're 100% right.
Yep.
This has to be like Matt Rule is in that locker room telling him, look at what you just did. Why are we not seeing that every single week? Because we have to. Like at this point, the rest of the schedule is still like, I don't know. It could go really
Coin
poorly.
flips the rest of the way. This will be your easiest game, which honestly could be the most important game.
I agree, 100%. Get that sixth win. Get that off our back.
Yep.
And then let's go play. But you got to play every game for the rest of the season like you just played Ohio State.
Okay. Connor, I want to get your opinion because you were not here yesterday for the counseling sesh.
Sure.
BA comes in with $4.99. Thanks again, man.
Shout out,
Sweet.
BA.
He says, just here to preemptively say, this was before we went live. He said to back off Satterfield today. He hit 4.1 yards per play, which was his goal. As we heard in his press conference.
Was it really?
Last week.
Or did he just misunderstand the question?
I think he
Yeah.
misunderstood the
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
You'd hope, right?
Yeah, you hope. And he says, more swings, screens, please. Supposedly only way to beat the blitz. And then on top of this, when we played that clip, we had Mr. Paul Kavalak in the chat and goes, LOL. I was like, how the hell did they all change their shirts? Because, we played the video.
Oh, yeah.
The rest,
magic trick.
the rest of the class is on page 3, Paul. All right. So, Connor, your thoughts on the swings and the screens? Because the swings and screens, that kind of goes nice.
Yeah. Obviously, they worked really well all game. So I was really happy we called more and more and more and more of them.
The blocking was so good.
Yeah. It was great.
Jamal Banks put some dudes on their. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what they say? We got to say no block, no rock, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm just glad Banks went out there and tried his hardest.
Yeah.
So I was happy for that. Last week, I know Jared brought it up, and I was still like halfway, but leaning it. I am now going to be 100% fully on the fire sat train. The experiment's over. It's got to go.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean,
I'm over it.
look. So good. Just going back to our overall takeaway from this hard-fought, gritty showing that Nebraska had, right? I'm in purgatory right now because usually my whole thing is quit with the excuses. Either you won or lost, black and white. At the end of the day, it's still another number added to the L side of the column, right? But we talked about expectations versus reality yesterday. Expecting what did I say? 44-7 loss. And then you get what you got, which was they faced adversity, a lot of it not self-inflicted,
Which is a surprise.
There's a lot of things that I don't say a lot, okay? There was a handful of things that happened in that game that Nebraska just couldn't really control themselves. And yeah, that's going to become a discussion this episode is the refs. Don't worry, Connor.
Yeah.
We will get there.
You missed the episode yesterday.
I know.
Clearly, because you're itching to talk about the refs. But as someone who's cynical all the time, I am cynical, man. I should have a C across my chest for cynical. I have come around. I'm not angry like I was immediately after the game. Next week is going to fully form how I feel about this game.
It's not even next week. It's Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's 5 days from now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, you guys are really being technical about that.
Yeah.
No, because
Jesus.
next week we play. Well, we have a bye week, don't we?
Yes, Mike.
And
Sorry, guys, in 5 days. Sorry, please.
Yeah, get it right.
Woo!
get it right.
What
Okay.
episode is it?
I think that's the first time you've ever.
I've never
Called that out.
actually viewed one time. I'm kind of.
You've been waiting to correct me.
Yeah, been waiting.
Well,
4
okay.
years.
So just the screen thing, okay? You keep going back to the Jamal Banks side of things, and you talk about during the week how this portion of the game for your team is not a strength. And yet, like you keep going back to it. And I was saying yesterday, Connor, as much of a not fan of Sat that I am, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to justify, because this is a guy that Matt Rule has chosen to be his OC. And as people that timmer, like we do and have, I'm trying to rack my noodle about, all right, what is the justification for a lot of these screen passes? And they're not all screens. I know that was a thing today. They're not all screens, guys. But come on. What is the reason for it? Because they were being aggressive. Ohio State was being aggressive, trying to counter their aggression. I get it. But someone out there, and maybe we have new people in the chat, like, I'm not even saying Sat called a horrible game. There were some things that happened in that game that as long as you make the throw, we're having a different discussion today.
Yeah. Todd Miller means trust in Matt Rule. Timmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically,
Like,
whatever.
What is what's TMNR?
Yeah, I know. And we said we trust unless no changes are made. Like, because I feel like, as considering how the rest of the season goes, I think there needs to be some changes made. And so if he doesn't make changes, that's when our Timmer scale starts to flip to the, I don't know. But just Sat overall, guys. What do you think? I mean, are we still on the fire Sat train? I mean, what do you think?
I think the best way to go about it is just say, like, I'm never a fan of making changes in the middle of the season.
Nah.
It brings a lot of bad attention. The players are in the midst of all of it because then they start receiving questions about how are you feeling now that your offensive coordinator's gone, and it takes all the attention away from the guys. We saw it when former head coach Scott was fired. And then Mickey had to take over. All the questions were about how are you guys feeling now that Mickey's your head coach, and it's just like it creates this weird. It's a dynamic. It's a distraction. Yeah. So like, write it out. This is who you signed up for, good or bad. And at the end of the year, that's when all the changes should be made. That's like when everything is settled. The year is over. Yep. Move on, bring somebody in, get them on the recruiting trail. I don't think he actually hits a recruiting trail. Does he? Satterfield? I don't think he does.
He does, but I don't think he's one of our top recruiters.
He's not a closer.
That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Matt's job anyway, but
yeah. But I did see a lot of comments, and I've seen some like film breakdown by people on the Twitterverse or Xverse. And it's like, there's so many things. If I'm on NCAA 25 and somebody's blitzing up the middle the entire time, I'm running crossing routes, I'm running short routes. I'm just trying to get the ball out quick. It doesn't always have to be a screen pass. Sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, just as like a general coach on a video game, I'm like, hey, there's a million things you can do to beat that. You just gotta
throw the ball where the blitz is coming from.
Yeah, they're blitzing from the middle. Okay,
you throw it to the middle.
Throw it to the middle.
There's nobody there because they're actually going after your quarterback. Like, there's a lot of things you can do. We talked about it yesterday. There's a lot of things you could do. Matt Rule went on the stage today and kind of defended it. He's like, you try to go against an aggressive defense like that and not run a couple screen plays. But he did defend the fans too. He's like, I see why you're upset. I could see why you're frustrated when you run two of those plays on the final drive, right?
Yeah.
In a row.
Yeah.
So I think Matt Rule also is like, man,
it's getting hard for him to defend it too.
Yeah.
Yes. You can tell in the tone, like every time somebody starts like in the media starts to kind of question like decisions being made in game. And they ask him questions at the presser, and he like roundabout, like he tries to get the question away from talking about Satterfield and his decisions.
Right.
He tries to like explain it and move on. He tries to like get it out of the attention. So I think we all know where Matt Rule's head's at with that, but yeah, I think there's going to be changes made. I just don't think Matt's one to take, the attention off of his players and turn it into like a circus of, they just fired the offensive coordinator. Like Texas just did.
Yeah.
Or Oklahoma. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think Matt Rule's statement is like, try playing an aggressive defense like that. And frankly, maybe an elite one and not have a couple of those plays. That is a valid point, but we didn't run a couple of them.
We ran fucking 10 of them.
Yeah. We ran a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
What I was excited to see, and I think maybe for like the first time this season, was the players getting out and making plays despite the adversity and despite the play calling.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of that. And I think that goes to show like this team is getting more confident as the season goes. And Mike, like you said, this might be a springboard for future games.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah.
There's no choice.
No. There's no choice.
No, come on.
And that's why I put it in the title of this episode is like the UCLA. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about Ohio State today. I want to talk about what that game means moving forward. I want to talk about what this game on Saturday means moving forward, because if we beat UCLA, who I have said, and I have compared that coach to that trash can over there.
Jesus.
Stop pointing.
It's
at
still
me.
over there.
It's still over there.
We got to change the location of that trash can.
I mean,
He's
he
pointing somewhere
literally
else.
gave us a geography lesson and told us where UCLA was at his presser.
It's in the name.
I
Hey,
mean,
to be fair, a lot of Americans I think probably need geography lessons.
I get it.
But go on.
I get it. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yes.
The guy is not qualified to be a head coach. He's only been as high as a running backs coach. He's never been a coordinator, and he's running a program that Chip Kelly left openly to become a coordinator. That is an issue. If you don't use this game as a launch pad to get your bowl eligibility and all these things, like, what are we doing here?
And
I'm going to be very mad if
look,
we lose on
listen,
Saturday.
Okay, I know we're not going to talk about Ohio State a lot, but like, I want to justify some of the anger that I did feel like after that game, because I think we can all admit that Ohio State did not play their best game.
Absolutely.
Right? You could tell, like, even with Nebraska coming out with their butterfingers,
Yeah, Buttergate 2024.
Buttergate, as Kyle called it, just that start to that game was just
Horrific.
and just nightmare. And so even Ohio State, as talented as that team is, still couldn't really take advantage of that. And like, their fans are booing Ryan Day and people are throwing things out on the field. And it's just one of those moments that, like, damn, if you're going to beat any Ohio State team, it would have been that one, right? They have a quarterback who
Isn't
I don't
good.
look. I don't think Chip Kelly, like, if he had his druthers, I don't think he would have Will Howard as his quarterback. You know what I mean?
No.
That's not his ideal quarterback.
No.
And so I just feel like, and you hold him to 2 yards per carry. Like, this was the game to, like, pull off an upset, to win a game that you're not supposed to, like every other freaking team does. And you just couldn't do it despite the great effort. Okay. It's just, it was right there. And that's why I was mad. Okay. I'm not mad anymore, but I'm just saying it was right there. You could have been the story, like the story of college football, right? This was the moment. And it's just, damn, you couldn't do it.
Plus the adversity. Like the moment of beating Ohio State through all the adversity that you face with all the extra things, the bad officiating and all the things not going your way.
Yeah.
I still, I'm sure you guys talked about this yesterday. The lowest yardage for Ohio State this season, the least amount of points for Ohio State this season.
Right.
I mean, to me, that is either, and probably a combination of both, a really good defensive showing for Nebraska and a little bit of a bad showing for Ohio State's offense.
Right.
I think it's probably a combination of both.
Oh, for sure.
But that's still nothing to scoff at.
No, it's not. It's nothing to scoff at, but you naming off these statistics kind of gets me mad again.
Yeah. Right. Oh, no.
Because
Don't
I'm
go
like,
there.
damn it, you did that to them, and you just still couldn't do it.
We held them to 24 yards in the third quarter,
Which was hilarious.
That is insane.
I know.
I think I saw a stat that was like, that's never been done to Ohio State in the last 15 years or something like
And,
that. And
it's
you
right
still
there.
didn't do it.
It's right there. Anybody else want to say anything about Ohio State? Like positives, negatives, what?
Yeah, I will say, you get these chirps on X about Ryan Day. That was one of the worst games. I think Mitch Sherman today in his show, he talked about being in the airport, and a couple had like spent a bunch of money. They were traveling from like out of the country. They came, they watched the Ohio State game, and they're at the bar, and they're like, that was the worst showing of football I've ever seen. Like, they were just so mad about it. And Mike says pretty regularly, like, please fire Ryan Day. Please do. Because that Ohio State fan base is so entitled. It's incredible. I'll tell you this. Ryan Day is 45-0 versus unranked opponents.
Yeah.
45-0.
He wins every game.
Even
that he's
born on third
supposed to win.
base. And we will not defend Ryan Day.
No.
I think if you gave Matt Rule that roster, they would be much better. I don't think they would have lost to Oregon, but
they have an NFL roster every year.
they do
Every year.
right. So, but I'm also not gonna shit on Ryan Day. Like the guy has, you given him a situation, and he's just continued to win games.
Yeah.
Now people can say that he was born on third base. I'm one of them, but he's still winning games. It's not like he's losing a bunch of games. The dude's still winning 10 games a year.
He's still in the single digits in the L column. He's
That's
like
insane.
70-9 or something.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, you guys remind me of Nebraska fans circa 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you make that change, please do.
Please.
Woo, baby.
Please.
And look, and here's the thing, though. Ohio State is not going to win the Natty this year.
No.
And do you know why I say that? Not because of Ryan Day necessarily.
Because Oregon exists.
Well, they don't have the horse,
they don't have
that quarterback to do
I
it.
was gonna say I don't
I
think
just don't-
Howard isn't a good enough quarterback.
And so they'll beat Michigan this year, but the noise will get a little bit louder. That static that is going to get louder because they're not going to win a Natty this year.
Can I make an argument where you say that Will Howard is the reason that Ohio State can't win a Natty?
One of them.
He's JJ McCarthy won a Natty.
True.
JJ McCarthy is Will Howard. Will Howard is JJ McCarthy.
Okay.
It's
Well,
You
okay.
might be right. I don't know.
I think
I don't
JJ's
know.
better than Will Howard.
Yeah, I mean,
if he is, it's very slight.
but you have to think though. Michigan did not lean on JJ McCarthy too much.
They leaned on
They
their
leaned on
corner.
their line.
Ohio State, their entire offense is based off of Will Howard and those wide receivers.
I mean,
Because
that's
you
fair.
noticed it the last drive of the game against Nebraska. The whole game, they were just trying to run it. We were stuffing them, stopping them on 4th and 1. They held them to 1 and 10 on 3rd down. And that last drive, I said it right before it started. I looked at my wife and I said, they're just going to open the playbook and those wide receivers are going to take over the game. They went down, they scored, ball game. Like I knew it certainly seemed, and Ryan Day kind of talks about it in his press conference. He said they should not have been in this game. Like this Nebraska should not have been here causing this much problems.
That's ridiculous.
prick.
Though. That's a prick statement. 100%.
Asshole.
But I think they just kind of overcalculated what was to be expected. Like they tried to just come out and run it, and Nebraska's just not going to allow you to do that. They're just not. They just don't do that.
You know, it's funny that you say that because it did seem like Ohio State came out pedestrian.
Kept it real simple.
Yeah, like
We're better than you.
Yeah, like mentality wise and what they did on offense until
That drive.
Like, and it's very different from the usual Ohio State because, like we said, especially under Urban, it was, I feel like scoring 42 points, and that's exactly what we'll do.
Yeah,
and it didn't have the same Ohio State feel.
Yeah,
they don't seem like the same team.
The Ohio State feel is like a Ferrari. You watch it; it's fast paced. You know, there's just big plays. And yesterday or Saturday, they tried to come out and just like keep it dirty. It was like driving a Camry instead of a Ferrari.
Would you say they tried to bully ball?
Yeah,
I think they tried and it didn't work.
Yeah, it's getting stonewalled for 2 yards per carry.
That's why Saturday is so big because I want to see how they play against Penn State. Were they looking ahead? Like, was Nebraska just playing on Ohio State team that was just not worried about them at all, and they were just worried about this Saturday? And that could be the case. Maybe they spent 2 weeks studying Penn State and they didn't study Nebraska worth the shit.
Yeah, maybe. I would hope not. But I know you hear concerns about Ohio State's O-line.
It's bad.
And they did not look good against Nebraska.
Yeah. Okay. There's a comment here I do want to read. It's from Dion Pryor. Sorry if I jacked that up. Sat's not getting fired, just my opinion. Usually a head coach is on the hot seat for that to happen. They usually don't make changes after reading fans' comments. Now, what I will say is when your offensive coordinator gets up in front of the media and says, I need to start committing to the run game. That's the first time that I ever felt like there was some sort of miscommunication between the head coach and one of his coordinators. Matt Rule usually has the same message from top to bottom. And for your offensive coordinator to come out and say, yeah, you know what, maybe I should start committing to the run game a bit.
Yeah, that's
I was like, well, that was what you guys told us when you first got here. Fullbacks, tight ends, run the ball. And then they talked about the game plan against like Indiana. and they're like, yeah, we wanted to get big and we wanted to run the ball and
Gritty and ugly.
and it just didn't happen. And then Sat comes out and goes, yeah, I should probably start committing to the run game. My guy, you are a year and a half into your tenure here.
You're 20 games
in the Big Ten, and your first message to us was that you were going to run the ball and get big.
In his defense, he had to run the ball his first year because we had Hunter Harburg playing quarterback. So
yeah,
that or Jeff Sims, who just gave the other team the ball. But
again, he just did it again.
Another running back.
So that's where I stand on. I don't think Matt Rule needs to be on the hot seat to recognize that. Like, I don't think that my offensive coordinators got the same thinking that I do. Like, I think you can look at Dylan Raiola and you can say, hey, like, there should be better production. There should be better. We should have a better production on offense, and we're still not committing to the run game. It's just like it's very unorganized right now, I feel like.
But it was good. The run game looked good against Ohio State.
It did.
And that could be an identity.
Yep.
I think there was, and this was my last real big complaint about the game, because obviously we've talked about officiating. Everyone in the States talked about officiating.
Let's do it.
Is it officiating time?
Yeah, well,
hold on.
let's do it some more.
This isn't even an officiating.
Let's do it.
argument. It's about committing to the run, because I'm sure you guys saw interception brought down, I believe, the 7-yard line.
Yep.
And we give 4 straight runs
Right.
going nowhere.
Right.
And at no point we're like, hey, maybe we should just try and swing this thing out. One time where it might work here.
Right.
They're loading the box.
I think that was his "I told you so" moment. It's like, I told you we can't run the ball.
Not in this situation.
God, I hope not. Yeah, I mean, we brought that up yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even going to do one rollout with Raiola just once.
No.
Once.
And then the next drive, 4 straight passes.
Yeah.
What
So
the
yeah,
hell?
it's still a little. Where are we going? Okay, so refs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we talk about what was released today?
Yes.
I think we start there.
Do it.
And then we go back.
Well, do you want to talk about Ohio State's targeting call being reversed?
Yeah.
And how nobody still knows what it is? I don't care if you're a freaking official on Twitter or you're
An official
Jesus
on the
Christ.
field.
I don't care if you're fucking anybody. You don't know. Mike, you don't know.
Well,
Herbie behind you, you don't know.
oh, he knows. for
Connor, you don't know
No.
what targeting is.
The officials on the
Kyle.
field don't know.
You don't know. I don't fucking know.
I know how to read, right? And so the rule says,
BA, whoever's in the chat, you don't know either.
Yeah.
the rule says that if you make forcible contact to the head or neck area with a helmet, a shoulder pad, a forearm, whatever, essentially anything, that it's considered targeting.
Mhm.
He led with his shoulder and made forcible contact to the head or neck area. Therefore, and Terry McCauley said it too,
Sure did.
therefore, that is the definition of targeting and is why he got ejected from the football game. But breaking news, if you get your news from our podcast, I'm sorry. It was released today that guy was ejected from the football game, but he doesn't have to sit out the first half of next game because the Big Ten decided that was not actually targeting.
Okay, well, guys,
I think we make rules for other people and other teams.
I was going to say, why was it reversed? Why did the Big Ten reverse that?
Well, that's
decision?
easy. We've tried this. Matt Rule has tried to get things reversed. It does not go in our favor. You know why?
Why?
Because they have the little stars on their helmet,
The little Buckeye thing.
the little Buckeye things, right? That's why. Because they play for the Ohio State University and they're playing against Penn State this week. That is 1,000,000,000% why that was overturned. I haven't heard any targeting call get overturned. That one was.
There is massive brand bias in the NCAA. I think anybody's crazy to say it. Why is Indiana not a top 10 team right now? They're 8-0. They're at number 13.
Never been a Big Ten team. Or sorry, well, let's go another way. There's never been an SEC team that's been undefeated this late in the season and not being in the top 10. That's just ridiculous.
Maybe even top 5.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
There is brand bias. I was honestly a little bit shocked, and maybe you guys can call me dumb. I was a little bit shocked to see OSU not drop to like number 5.
Yeah, they didn't move.
They didn't move at all.
So that's a lot of respect for Nebraska, right? Or
Brand bias.
brand bias.
Well, gosh, you know what sucks about that conversation? What's really unfortunate about that conversation is we used to be in that club. That used to be us.
No more.
Used to be.
Damn, that's very sobering. But yeah, like I was saying yesterday during Cornhusker counseling, which we have after every Husker game, basically. Big Ten. If you want to see more success, and I know you guys are already making a lot of money, right? Whatever. You want to make more money, you should curry things in Nebraska's favor. Why? Because we're the most passionate fan base. Okay. Imagine Nebraska in the CFP. Imagine Nebraska making bowl games regularly, right? You're making money for everybody. And I don't know if you guys saw the stat about the giving blood thing. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Nebraska is killing everybody else in this fucking conference in terms of giving blood. And now you're going to say, what does that have to do with? Fuck everybody else, man. Like Nebraska, we deserve to have calls go in our fucking favor, man.
And we don't.
Look, damn it. I'm contradicting myself now. I'm getting angry. Because, yeah, we get in our own way a lot of the time. Okay, we shoot our own foot a lot. But we need calls to go in our favor. And that's not even coming as a biased Nebraska fan. It's if I was any fan base in the Big Ten, I'd be like, damn, if Nebraska was really good, we'd get a lot of more attention than we do now. We might catapult above the SEC maybe. Because, it's a Big Ten SEC type of thing. Just imagine if Nebraska was good. So you need to call shit in our favor from now on.
Hey, man, any talking head in America, anybody you listen to on Saturday or Sunday will tell you that football is better when Nebraska is good. It's the blue bloods.
Yep.
When the blue bloods are good, it's better for college football.
Always is.
Yeah. Always is.
Except
Always has
Feinbaum.
been.
He doesn't. He apparently told
Feinbaum.
Matt Rule.
Feinbaum doesn't. There was a chat in here.
Like we lost our AAU status and all that shit, right? And I don't know if like Big Ten officials are just really salty about us not being in Omaha with that whole thing and losing AAU. Come on, man. Like we've been in this conference for almost 15 years. Like get over your horse shit.
Yeah.
God, this whole not calling holding on opponents. Like, come on, man.
All that shit.
Can we get over this shit already, Big Ten?
Did you hear Matt Rule's press conference today? He talked about.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
He carefully talked about officiating and replay.
Very carefully.
He has to. He has to be careful.
Gotta walk on eggshells with these fucks.
He goes to talk about
come on, dude.
How games, for instance, Oregon, Ohio State the week prior, right? There was some debatable offensive pass interference call, right? So then the following week, Nebraska gets 2 offensive pass interference calls on them. He says, all we can do is at the beginning of the season, we prepare for what they're going to call. But if they're going to make changes in the middle of the season and change the way they're officiating games, he essentially said that's bullshit. And I 100% agree with him. You should not change the way you're officiating games because you saw something you didn't like in a later game. That you just stick to it all year.
We should start a like a Mike Delaware translate Matt Rule conference.
I'm pretty good at it.
I think it'd be great.
I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
This is what he said. He said that the officiating, they shouldn't be changing their shit in the middle of the season. And to fuck off.
Well, yeah, look,
that's what he said.
They call Matt Rule for the throwing the headset thing.
Right.
Maybe they realize,
And they tell him,
we shouldn't have called that. Well, now Ryan Day does it and he bumps into an official, and now you're not calling anything.
Nothing.
Big Ten, coaches should throw their headsets. Fuck it. I don't care. But I'm saying you set the precedent. You called Matt Rule for that. So why are you not doing it for Ryan Day too? And it was more egregious, in my opinion.
Because he checked this official.
Come on, dude.
So I won't argue with you on the Matt Rule, Ryan Day throwing the headset thing. I 100% think that was bullshit. I will give a counterpoint to a rule change midseason. Dan Lanning, 12 men in the field.
That was genius.
It was genius.
Big brain.
It was genius.
Loophole.
But I can understand why they changed the rule midseason.
I don't even think he did that on purpose. I think you just lucked out.
I think he figured out that people were talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, we totally prepared
for sure." Yeah,
I think it was a miscommunication that benefited him, but whatever. I get that, but we're not even talking about rule changes. We're talking about the way. So the rule stays the same, right?
Yeah,
the rules are the exact same, but it's the way they're officiating the rule in the middle of the season that is absolutely ridiculous.
So the Big Ten released a statement today talking about the spot right before halftime.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, they said, hey, yep, it was an error by the officiating crew. It should have been here.
And what does that mean?
We all know that, right?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
So what I want to pose a question to you and everybody that's in the chat right now.
How many people are in the chat?
We're right around 100 right now. 99 to be exact. My question is, what can be done after the fact?
Nothing.
Like I know That's what I'm saying. Is like I get everybody that's upset. It's about the like, hey, they release a statement and then it should end up with one of those like little emoji guys that's going like this.
Ooh.
Sorry. But my serious question is, what should be done?
What do you think they should do about
After
it?
the fact? After the fact, when you come out with a statement and realize there was a big error, what can be done? Is there anything?
Take money out of these officials' pockets.
Yeah,
Fine them, suspend them, etc. There is consequences for everything you do in life. If you do things incorrectly, especially consistently, there has to be strikes against what you're doing. You can make a mistake, okay. But if you're making mistakes over and over again, there has to be repercussions. These officials, they have a good gig. They're not full-time employees, so they don't get benefits and all that shit. Maybe make them full-time employees so that you can actually, punish them when they're in trouble.
I agree. I don't honestly, off the top of my head, know what a Big Ten ref gets paid for a game.
It's per game.
Yeah, I know that,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that check looks like. But I mean, there has to be a fine, especially like if we're talking about the run spot.
That was terrible.
That is an egregious mistake.
two times.
Inexcusable. It
So
really is.
that one,
Especially with replay.
I think that one, like a small fine, and then like we're gonna take you back through a course and make sure you actually know what you're doing. Like you need to be re-educated because clearly the leading theory, and I don't know if this was confirmed, was that he thought that somebody else had the ball.
Latovsky. He thought that Latovsky was the ball carrier, and Latovsky was 4 yards behind where the running back was.
Yeah.
He spotted the ball where Latovsky laid on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
I want to ask you. Okay, go on.
If that's genuinely what
He looks
that ref
just like him.
believed,
Emmett Johnson and Latovsky look the exact same.
yeah, I would mistake him for twins.
I want to ask you guys something. Okay. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot, and I recognize this.
It's
Okay.
okay.
So the whole ball spotting fiasco.
Bad.
Okay. Think about your jobs and what you do. Okay.
Okay.
What would be the equivalent of that fuck up? Okay. So I'm thinking for me, right? I'm a teacher. Okay. One of the classes that I teach is U.S. history. That would be me. The equivalent of what that ref did, or I should say refs, because I was fucking everybody. The whole organization.
That would be like me standing in front of the class and going, Adolf Hitler and the Allies.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
That's the equivalent. Is me saying Nazi Germany and the Allies with the United States. No, that's
No.
not how that worked.
No.
Okay.
Right.
So that would be a major fuck up. Or if I'm in front of my algebra class and I go, 2 + 2 is 5 with the serious face. 2 + 2 is 5.
But
That is how egregious that is and what they did.
But here's the thing is you would get to say that and teach those kids that for a whole day. And then tomorrow just walk up to your administration and be like, yeah, no, I screwed up. Sorry. And then just moving on. Like there should be punishments.
No, I'm saying,
Like,
okay.
That's crazy.
So think about your
Kyle,
job.
what is yours?
What would be
Do you
the
have one?
equivalent? Like
I got mine.
something so freaking
I know,
basic.
mine will do.
Yeah. Hurrdat Sports spends a lot of time and a lot of organization to set up like personal interviews with people. And I think the equivalent for me would be like show up to this set that I have set up, do the whole freaking interview. Anna Bellinghausen sitting there, Sasha Durkin's in the background, and she's taking behind the scenes pictures. Shout out. And then I get back to the office and realize, I wasn't even recording.
I didn't even hit record.
I didn't even hit record. Oh, whoops. My bad.
My bad.
What do you do? Yeah. So that's mine.
Connor, what would be the most basic? Like Paul and Kim would go, you fucking dunce.
Yeah.
And they would fire their own son.
So
And they're watching.
yeah.
I remember this.
In the brewery, so not specifically my job, but for like what we do, would be like there's a process called dry hopping where you create like the aroma for all these beers. We'll be like sending hundreds of pounds of hops into this tank to dry hop a beer, and then finding out a day later is like, oh, those were definitely the wrong hops. I screwed up that entire batch of beer.
Okay.
I mean, just a massive. There's no turning back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. Sorry. Drink the beer that we said it is.
Yeah.
Mike, what would get you fired from Mutual?
Okay. I work from home full time. I would say this is equivalent to me on camera working with no pants on and accidentally turning the camera on. That's what it is. That's borderline fireable material.
Borderline fireable.
I was in my underwear, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we're gonna have to do something.
Here at MBNR, we encourage it.
Kyle's not wearing pants right now.
It's like if you're on a phone call, video call, and you don't know your camera's on and you're standing up and you're in your underwear. Like, that's what it seems like to me, where it's like they're probably going to fire you or they're going to talk to you and you're going to get in a lot of trouble. That's the same thing in my world.
Okay. That just came like that. I just thought it'd be a good discussion.
Wow.
Anything else about the refs? Is it rigged? Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on all this yesterday.
Oh, well.
It's
well.
Just to like put a little bow, people are human beings. Human beings are human, and they have biases, and I'll just leave it at that. They have biases, and it shows.
I don't think it's rigged. I think it's just incompetence.
I don't know.
Like
I
some
agree.
of those things, though, it's just like, Jesus Christ,
It's incompetence, but Matt Rule did finish his press conference. Here's another summary for you. He said that this stuff can't keep happening, especially against UCLA and Iowa. He even threw Iowa out there. He skipped all the other ones. UCLA. So we're saying this week, there cannot be any more bullshit calls like that are just dumbassery. Like that's just my thing.
I think on the refs and like the officiating note, like my sign off is I'm a videographer. I do every single Omaha Supernovas professional volleyball match.
Mhm.
Okay. And every time I step into CHI Health Center, they use a 29 camera setup that is AI integrated. It catches every fingertip that's get touched. It creates an animation for exactly where the ball was compared to the line. Take out the judgment. Like the human error all across college football. You guys make, I want to say billions and billions of dollars every year, and we're still using this line judge walking across this. I don't even know how long a football, like how wide a football field is, but they walk all the way across and they're like, looks like it was right here. Or, I thought Henry Lutovsky had the ball. Like, what do we do? You guys have technology. We landed on the moon in 1969, folks.
We sure
2024.
did,
Mike.
Damn right,
Mike?
we did.
Like, figure it out. You guys
Yeah.
make all this money.
Dude.
You guys can't use technology to help you out a little.
I know that we said we kind of ended, but like these guys are like 60 years old, dude. And like, was it against Indiana when we had a lady ref? Look, some people were like, get that fucking lady out. I'm like, why? You guys complain about the refs anyway. Why not get a lady in there? What if she's better? What if women are just better?
What's worse
at this?
An old man or a lady ref to you? Like, I
Old
think
man.
the old men refs suck.
Yeah.
They're fucking terrible.
You guys are going to complain about refs anyway, so just throw a lady out there.
Got a 60.
We need Ed Hockley to come out of retirement. Bring the gun show to Lincoln, Nebraska, baby.
Yeah. And look, refs get things correct a lot, but Jesus, some of those things, it's like, you can't help but think, you're just doing this on purpose.
Let me ask you this.
Damn.
So I know the NFL, like 2 years ago, went into like, you can review anything, right? They tried it out because people were complaining about officiating. And we found out that was stupid as fuck.
Mm.
Do you guys think that replay should be more involved in officiating? So if it's like a blatant OPI that wasn't an OPI, like the Nair thing or some of these things, do you think that replay should be more involved, or do you think that's just going to drag things on?
I don't think, honestly, to be real honest with you, I don't think it helps, because right now they looked at the targeting call in slow motion. They went and they reviewed it, and they still supposedly got it wrong.
They got it right.
I would argue that the more replay we have, it makes our officials worse.
You become more reliant on it.
You become, and like you'll either make calls or not make calls based on, okay, I'm going to get bailed out by the replay, so it doesn't really matter if I'm right. So I think they get kind of complacent, and that they think they're going to get bailed out by a replay, and like, all right, I guess the replay fixed it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, you've got a company that controls the communication between the person up in the box, down on the field, up to the second based off the play clock. You can't figure out some sort of system to spot the ball correctly, or some sort of system to like take out a bunch of the things that we're bitching about here today.
Yeah.
There's got to be something.
Take the manual. I work in technology. We are always looking for things to make automated.
Mm-hmm.
We want to automate freaking everything. And people get scared. They're like, "Oh, it's going to take my jobs." In this situation, please,
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
please,
He's gonna take your job because you couldn't do the job right to begin with.
I'm all for robot umpires in baseball. It's the same thing with football. I'm all for putting referees out there that have 20/20 vision, that know what the fuck they're doing. Like, that'd be great. Or a robot. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's a tough conversation because God, the automated world scares me.
Yeah.
Like self-driving cars.
Oh yeah, I would. You're never gonna catch.
Oh my
me one
God.
of those.
All right. Anything else about refs?
No, we can close the book. Let's close the book on Ohio State.
The book
and
is
the
done.
refs.
Yeah, the refs just make me want to squeeze my pee-pee real hard.
What? I don't.
Really? This clearly is not Cornhusker counseling.
We
is it?
we are going to turn the page to UCLA and talk about the implications of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been going for 45 minutes, and it's about that time. And then we got to hit a little cover corner and get the fuck out of here.
Okay, UCLA, right? Bad team.
You sure?
Yeah.
Clip it. Bad team. Their offense. Nothing to write home about. One of the worst in the conference. You know, this is one of those games for Nebraska where before Ohio State, you know, I was like, God damn it, they're 5-3 because they lost to Ohio State already, even though they never played them. They're going to come back home and their little sphincters are going to go because they're sitting at 5 and they're going to feel that pressure to win that 5th game, and then they're going to lose. And then they're going to go to the next game at USC, and they're going to go and just over and over, right? So this needs to be a game where shut up. This needs to be a game where, God damn it, the team comes out, the fans come out, and it needs to be Colorado-esque at 2:30 instead of 6. Right? I mean, everybody's got to show up. The team needs to not look at their opponent's helmet.
It's Ohio State. We're playing Ohio State again. Pretend like it's Ohio State.
Yeah.
Did Matt Rule say something about that? How it seems like his team looks at their opponent and goes, well, Ohio State is worthy of my effort. Indiana isn't.
Well, that was like the bouncing or the whatever you guys said about like this needs to be the standard. How you played against Ohio State. You can't look back now.
No.
Because we saw what you did against the number 4 team in the country. We saw how you played. We saw how good it looked. Mm-hmm. Now you can't go back.
Because you can't go back to Indiana. You can't go back to Bloomington.
No. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
And I think what we saw from Bloomington, Indiana to Columbus, Ohio, if that right there doesn't prove to you that every single game is its own thing, I don't know how else to convince you. Okay. A lot of people are going to look at what happened in Columbus and go, they're going to do that against UCLA. Like, that's not how it works, people. But they can come out and play with their fucking ass on fire like they did. It's possible. They can do that.
I mean, hey, UCLA went and posted 35 on Rutgers the other night. So,
if you're not ready to play against UCLA, you're going to lose the game.
You will lose.
You will lose the game.
I don't care what the color of their helmet is. I don't care who their quarterback is or their head coach, for fuck's sake. Like, if you don't come out ready to play, you will lose.
They are coming off of a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a team to look ahead to. They have to look at Nebraska. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for Nebraska. They know what you're doing. They watched the Ohio State game. They prepare just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. With that being said, you have the coaching advantage. You have the quarterback advantage. There's a lot of advantages you have in this game, but you still have to use them. You have to do it. It cannot be like Indiana. You cannot overlook these guys.
Well, and so you mentioned they're coming off a bye week. Wasn't it? We've talked about this. Like, everybody since Indiana until Iowa is coming off a bye week to play us.
They all get a bye week.
Ready. They're ready for you. Like, it's just going to be one of those things. I think, I hope that the team comes out ready to rock. I think what I see happening, what I hope doesn't happen, is that the first drive, maybe 2, there's going to be some mistakes. Hopefully no turnovers. But then they'll kind of settle in. The crowd is going to be loud. Everybody wants to see that 6th win in Lincoln. But I think they'll figure it out throughout the game because, I mean, as far as our defense matches up against their offense, I think we can handle that. Yeah, we can handle that. But the defense, frankly, except for one game, has never really been my question mark. It's never really been it. It's been the play calling. So
Sure.
I don't want to continue to lean on the defense like we did for quite some time against Ohio State. I don't want to have to lean on that. It's just going to come down to what we can do offensively.
Oh boy.
Oh, what?
What do we got?
I bring to you a question
Yes.
from the BA Coaches Show. And he made me read this because I'm the one that has to be on the camera. $1.99. Appreciate you again.
Okay.
Says on a scale of hooker to none,
Hooker to
how
none.
easy will UCLA be? I
Jesus, man.
I think UCLA being 2-5, wouldn't it just be the
Oh, I got
story?
one.
They've
I
got
got one.
they've got 4 games left. Wouldn't it just be
Come on.
the story of like them just going undefeated the rest of the year and making a bowl game? And Nebraska loses. That would just be the ultimate stab in the heart.
Well,
Like,
to your point,
Yeah.
okay. Nebraska's still sitting at 5. UCLA 2-5. And so, you look at UCLA, what they have left, and it's like, well, UCLA, like, doesn't need to win this game to become bowl eligible. Like, maybe they're just at a point. They're at 2-5 where they say fuck it. Nebraska. Yeah, I wish they could say, hey, fuck it, let's go. But sitting at that 5, it still has me ambivalent. UCLA sitting at 2 makes me feel like no holds barred. Who cares? Well, let's just go out there and have fun.
yeah.
No.
We don't need to play.
Okay, he said hooker to none.
Yeah.
To none.
I would say in the range, it's like your wife. You.
Oh
Wait,
boy.
hold on.
Let me put it this
Whose
way.
wife?
Okay.
I'm just. This is for any man out there. This is for your wife.
Okay.
Where you have a pretty good chance with your wife, unless she's tired, if her back hurts, or she's got Tylenol or all these things. So the odds are pretty good, but there's always other factors,
There's always factors.
Yeah.
Always factors.
like your wife. UCLA is your wife.
So I'm going to use 2 scales just so I can kind of explain why. So I call it, like, for the ease scale, like it's like a 6.5. So this is like the girl that dressed up like a sexy bunny at a Halloween party.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, we could probably get that done. But there's really a good chance that I'm going to say something stupid, like a really high chance that I can say something stupid. So it's not at all like a guarantee. Like, you're still going to have to put the work in and get this thing done.
I feel like this might be the closest cancellation episode we've ever had.
Not true.
Yeah. Is UCLA going to be,
My wife.
are they going to be picky and like a prude? Are they going to let us in there? What do you think? I don't know. They're going to let a corn cob in or what? Do we do scoring predictions now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Does anyone have a score off the top of their head that they want to get off their chest?
I got one.
Okay.
This is the game where Nebraska plays 4 quarters of football.
Oh god.
Smash! Not smash mouth. I'm not a poser. 4 quarters of football. And I flipped the script last week. I said 35-7 Ohio State. This week, 35-7 Nebraska.
Ooh.
They play 4 quarters of football, and everybody's like, wow, Satterfield, you're so good. I'm going to be so wrong,
Are
but
you
it's fine.
sure?
35-7 Nebraska.
Connor, what do you got?
Okay, so this last week at Ohio State proved to me, and I think to a lot of people, we have a kicker now. And I can include
Hey,
field goals in my
John-
scoring predictions.
Johnny Hole.
So I have this one pretty close to Mike. I have it 31-10 Nebraska.
Okay.
Okay. I will go.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go 24-13 Nebraska. Really cooking one up here. Like I really kind of had to
That's a
think about
funky
that.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Nebraska 23, UCLA 7.
Really quick on that part for our scoring predictions, have any one of us in the couple of years have any of us ever called a shutout? I don't think we have.
No.
No, I mean that
It's not going to
we
happen.
know better than that. Yeah. And on that note, we also have not called a score correctly since you won the best score guesser guy award.
It's still
On your
brewery.
second game.
Yeah, it's still in the trophy cabinet at the brewery.
Yeah.
Actually, those pictures came across my memories the other day, which made me really sad seeing 2 years ago. Like, oh, that's great.
So, we all picked dubs.
We did.
Bowl game. We are probably going.
We are going.
Okay. They're going to make it happen this week. Yes?
Yep.
I believe
We all
so.
think they will.
I believe so.
Like, gets me excited. Gets me.
Are we?
Because what if, hey, just what if, man? Like,
I mean, look,
like what if this is the fucking moment where
The springboard.
like you say springboard. We said launching pad yesterday, but I'm picturing a giant doing this, you know? And then you get to 6 and they go,
yeah.
smash mouth. Like, what if just getting this 6 is like, get that fucking monkey off me, boy.
Yeah.
What if this is it?
I mean, like, how many times we've been doing this for 4 years?
haven't
We've been
even
doing
seen
this
one.
for 4 years, and it seems like every time there's that game where you're like, "Hey, it's make or break here, or you're not getting to a bowl." And every year, it doesn't happen, and we have to show up for the rest of the season like good fans do, and do this show. And every single week is like, "We're sad, we're sad, we're sad." Getting this win, man, is like you get that 6 win. We're going to a bowl game. We start planning the trip. Now we're talking about Nebraska in ways we don't generally talk about them. It's just like the overall feel around the pod would just be so much better.
Let me put this out there.
Vibes would be high.
Future sponsor. If Nebraska makes a bowl game, we are going to be looking for advertisers galore because we are going to need somebody to fund our trip to a bowl game, which will involve you, future sponsor.
Duke's Mayo. We'll see you soon.
We need sponsors. We do a great job at advertising and marketing. So if we get the 6, we will start planning our vacation to a bowl game. I don't care if we finish 6-6. I mean, I will be sad, but 6-6 doesn't matter. You get the 6, it's a free pass to a bowl game.
Yeah. And Todd Miller says if Nebraska becomes bowl eligible, do they storm the field and tear down the goalpost? You know what?
Todd Miller,
Do it.
Do it. Look, I'm going to be on the sideline. Watch
Yes.
for me down there. I'll have my camera rig. I'll be ready to film the celebration of Husker Nation finally making a bowl game after 7 years.
My God.
God, that's
I
terrible.
already see people. Is that how far we've fallen?
Yes.
Everybody.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Hold on. Everybody in unison. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yes.
Fuck.
We
do
have
this.
to.
We have this conversation. Should they storm the?
Yes.
Do it.
Do it.
Storm that puppy. Storm that fucker.
To double down. After
Why?
Jared and I stormed the court when Nebraska upset Purdue,
Hmm.
we walked up to Garrett McGuire and he says, I can't wait for this shit to happen next year.
Let's do
Guess what? It happened against Colorado. It could happen against UCLA.
Do it.
Please do it. Sponsors, please sponsor us.
Charmin-
Pay for our trip.
Charmin Ultra Soft.
We'll
Please.
rep your brand anywhere we go. If that's New York City or Florida or California, wherever it's going to be, we're going to be there.
Or
Or
could it be? I don't know. I don't want to start speculating.
Idaho,
Just fucking
Potato
UCLA.
Bowl. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Okay.
Okay,
So cover corner.
Cover corner.
Presented by
let's do 'em.
Connor Kavlak.
All right. So I've got 3 games picked, as I always do. We're going to save the best one for last.
Sure.
First game, we've got Kentucky at Tennessee. Tennessee ranked number 7 right now.
Okay.
Favored by 16.5.
Okay.
Kentucky has looked decent this season, and 16.5 is a good amount of points. Mike, I'm going to start with you.
I think Tennessee's a real deal. I'm going to take Tennessee cover in 16.5.
I'm gonna say Kentucky loses, but they cover.
Yep. I'm going to agree with Jared. Kentucky covers.
I really wanted to get myself into calling Kentucky. I think they're going to be in the game for maybe the first half, but I think Tennessee pulls away probably in the mid-third quarter and covers that 16.5. It's a lot of points, but Tennessee is, in my opinion, the real deal. They're a scary team.
They're good.
All right, we got a ranked matchup here. Number 18 Pitt at number 20 SMU. SMU favored by 7.5.
Pitt and SMU.
And it's at SMU.
It's at SMU.
Okay, I'll take SMU. I watched them play last week. They looked okay. We'll take them.
I'll say Pitt wins
Outright.
outright.
Not even a cover.
Pitt wins.
Yeah, that's tricky. I say Pitt covers, they don't win.
I ended up watching the Pitt game last week. I thought they looked very good.
Sure.
I'm going to take a Pitt money line win too.
Just be careful with your whole transitive property thing is all I say.
I know, but I was looking at, they played well. The offense was called properly and they executed. And that's really, execution is number one.
Yeah,
A poorly called offense executed well can still win games.
yeah, Pitt's gonna really tap into that ghost of Mark Whipple, and they'll win.
All right, now the big one. I think one that everybody figured we were going to call is number 4 Ohio State, number 3 Penn State. It is in Happy Valley. Ohio State currently favored by 3.5.
Oh,
At Penn State.
whiteout.
I think their quarterback isn't playing. Is he playing or no?
I don't know off the top of my
it's
head.
still-
right
I
now.
don't really
It's up in the
care.
air.
I don't really care. Whiteout in Penn State. Taking Ohio State. They're gonna win it. They're gonna win it outright. They were looking ahead for Penn State, overlooking Nebraska. I think Ohio State takes care of business.
Yeah, I think Ohio State will win too.
Give me Penn State at home. You said it's a night game?
I did not say the time.
Oh.
It is an 11 a.m. kick.
Oof. Transitive, just off of what I saw with my own 2 eyes against a Nebraska team that clearly has some issues.
Yeah.
I'll take Penn State at home.
Before this episode started, I think I said Penn State's going to kick the shit out of them. But I think Ohio State maybe learned some things this last week. I think they know where to place their emphasis on offense. I'm going to take Ohio State winning.
Okay.
Cool.
Cover corner has been covered, unlike Luke Gifford.
Isaac.
Just walk out.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, just walks right out of the studio.
I'm pissed. Just like Isaac. Okay. Go to nbnrpodcast.com. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a follow. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. We need it. Merch. Are you selling those hats, Mike?
Yeah, yes and no.
No.
If you want one, reach out to me.
Okay.
If you're a local business or you know someone with a local business, reach out to us. If you want us to talk about your business on this platform, we would be happy to do that. We can do graphics, we can do clips, we can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Some websites.
Yeah, we can do website design, whatever you want. Reach out to us. We are affordable. We will gladly advertise your local business. We have a large social reach, and we are looking for some people to advertise for. So,
Yeah.
Right on.
And on that note, we mentioned it yesterday, but the Caniglias Mano chef kiss of the week is Mr. John Holt.
Attaboy.
Nailing the 3
Yeah.
field goals. Get them out there. We got a field goal unit.
Not even just nailing 3 field goals, nailing a 56-yarder, which I think probably could have gone to 58. I don't know if it could have gone much
Maybe
further than 58.
60.
I don't know. It was beautiful.
it was
Yep.
a great kick.
Gives me some hope going forward that we might have a kicker.
Gives the team hope. They
You
can
know?
trust on actually getting points inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be like the butterfly effect. Positive butterfly effect.
Yes.
Okay, we're done here.
We're going to absolutely murder you.
I hope so.
God, just get to 6. Just get to fucking 6. I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Connor Cavalack.
Kyle Byers.
As always, beat UCLA and GBR.